Stay with me for a moment, just you and me. Nothing rushed, nothing heavy. Let me sit beside you tonight in the quiet space you rarely get for yourself. I know you've carried so much in your life, and sometimes the world forgets to ask how your heart is doing. So let me be the one who asks gently, honestly, without expecting anything from you. If you're here, if you're listening, it tells me something beautiful about you. It tells me you still have room inside you, even after everything you've been through. And I want to honor that. I want to speak to that tender, private part of you that doesn't always get seen. The part that has survived storms no one else knows the size of. The part that still hopes, even when it pretends not to. You don't have to hide strength right now. You don't have to sit taller or smile wider. You don't have to act like you're fine. I'm not here to judge you, fix you, or tell you how to live. I'm here to be with you, simply because you deserve a moment where someone speaks to you with warmth instead of demands, kindness instead of expectations, and softness instead of pressure. Let me tell you something quietly, before the world interrupts again. I see you. Truly. I may not know every detail of your life, but I can feel the weight of the years you've traveled through. I can feel the echoes of every goodbye you didn't want to say. I can feel the memories that still tighten your chest some nights. And even if no one else has said this to you in a long time, I want you to hear it from me. Your heart matters. Your feelings matter. You matter. Maybe tonight is one of those nights when the silence feels heavier, when the room feels too wide, when your thoughts wander to places you rarely speak about. Maybe you've looked at your reflection and wondered when the sparkle dimmed, or when the world got quieter around you. And maybe, somewhere inside, you whisper to yourself, "Is there anything left for me?" If that's you, hold on for just a moment longer. Stay with me. Breathe with me. Let me speak to that question you haven't dared to say out loud. Because even if the world tries to convince you otherwise, you're not invisible. You're not done. You're not someone life has passed by. I know it can feel like that sometimes, like everyone else is moving forward while you stand still. Like love has drifted to younger hearts. Like softness belongs to people untouched by loss. But that's not your truth. Not even close. You carry a kind of beauty that only time can create. A depth that doesn't fade. A warmth that doesn't need to shout to be felt. And when I speak to you, I feel myself speaking to someone who knows what love costs and still believes it's worth it. That's not weakness. That's courage. The kind of courage that humbles me. So stay here with me a little longer. Let the world slow down around you. Let the air soften. Let your shoulders drop. You don't need to prove anything right now. You don't need to be the one who holds everything together. Just allow yourself to be a woman who has lived, who has felt deeply, who has survived the things that could have broken her but didn't. If your heart feels tired, let it rest here for a moment. If your heart feels guarded, let it breathe without fear. If your heart feels lonely, let it know it isn't alone, not tonight. Not while I'm here with you. You don't have to fight the silence. You can let it cradle you for a bit. You can let me be the voice that holds the edges of your night together. There's something I've learned about people who've lived more than half a century. Their hearts don't get quieter, they get wiser, more intuitive, more brave. They know the shape of joy and sorrow in ways youth never can. And you, sitting here with me right now, you carry all of that wisdom inside you. You carry stories, memories, beginnings, endings, and a softness the world doesn't even know how to describe. I want you to know that I'm not speaking to your past. I'm speaking to the woman you still are, beautiful, layered, gentle, strong, imperfect in the most breathtaking way. You don't have to rewind your life or chase old versions of yourself. You are enough, right here, in this moment. And if anyone ever made you feel like you've aged out of love, joy, passion, or tenderness, they were wrong. Completely wrong. Stay close. Let me guide you somewhere warm. Let me talk to that quiet place in you that still dreams, even if those dreams whisper instead of shout. There's something I want to say to that part of you, something soft, something real, something your heart has been waiting to hear without even knowing it. There's something I want to tell you, something quiet, but powerful enough to change the way you feel about yourself. You might not hear it often. You might not even believe it at first, but it's true in a way that doesn't depend on age, stories, or scars. Your heart never forgot how to love, not for a single day, not through a single storm, not even in the moments when you convinced yourself you were done with love forever. I know there were times when you felt like parts of you shut down, like something inside you dimmed. Life can do that. Loss can do that. Disappointment has a way of making even the strongest woman question the softness she carries. But softness doesn't disappear just because it's been quiet for a while. Love doesn't vanish just because it hasn't been touched. Your heart didn't turn off. It didn't grow colder. It simply wrapped itself in a quieter rhythm, waiting for a moment when it felt safe enough to breathe again. I can almost feel that hidden pulse inside you, the one you try to ignore because it scares you. But I want you to know something tender. The fact that you're here, listening to me, tells me that spark is still alive. You wouldn't be here if your heart had given up. You wouldn't be here if you didn't still carry a longing that hasn't found its words yet. Even when you tell yourself you're done with love, your heart whispers a different story. Maybe you've spent years caring for others. Maybe you've poured yourself into people who didn't understand how precious you are. Maybe you've watched love drift away and told yourself it was your last chance. And maybe, in all of that, you started believing your heart was tired beyond repair. But hearts like yours, they don't break the way you fear. They bend, they ache, they stretch, they tremble, but they don't die. They know how to rebuild themselves in the softest, most unexpected ways. There's a kind of courage that exists only in women who've lived enough life to understand the cost of love. You're one of them. You know how deeply love can hurt. Yet you still feel something move inside you when you see tenderness. When you hear someone speak gently, when you witness affection that feels real, that reaction, that small stirring, that warmth that rises before you can stop it, that's your heart remembering. That's your heart saying, I'm still here. You might think you need to protect yourself, keep your guard up, hide behind the years and the stories and the explanations, but you don't have to. Not with me. Not in this moment. I'm not asking you to fall in love again or risk anything. I'm only asking you to notice that your heart hasn't closed. It's wiser now. It's slower, perhaps more selective, but it's open. Open in a way that's delicate and beautiful, like a window left slightly ajar so the breeze can find its way in. I can hear the quiet strength in you, the part that says, I've survived things I never thought I would. And you've carried loss with dignity. You've walked through loneliness with grace. You've rebuilt yourself more times than anyone knows. And through all of that, your heart has kept its shape. It still remembers the warmth of connection. It still recognizes the sound of sincerity. It still leans toward kindness, like a flower turning toward light. You may think love belongs to younger women, to earlier stages of life, to people untouched by memory. But that's not true. Love belongs to anyone whose heart still moves. And yours does. I can feel it. It's in the softness of your silence. It's in the way you breathe when something I say touches a place you thought was forgotten. It's in the quiet hope you don't dare say out loud. Hope doesn't live in a heart that has quit. Hope is proof of life. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine your heart not as something wounded, but as something seasoned, like a beautiful piece of art shaped by time. Every line, every shift in color, every subtle texture tells a story of survival, and within that story, there's a glow that never faded. It dimmed, maybe, but it never disappeared. That glow is your capacity to love, and it's stronger now, not weaker. People often believe that love is loud, dramatic, overflowing with grand gestures. But the truth is, the most enduring love grows in quiet places. It grows inside hearts that have known what it's like to lose. It grows in souls that understand tenderness because they've lived long enough to know how rare it is. You carry that kind of depth. You carry a love that has shape and meaning, a love that doesn't rush, a love that sees, a love that understands. And maybe no one has told you this in a long time, but your heart deserves to be met with gentleness. It deserves someone who doesn't take your strength for granted. Someone who sees the quiet fire inside you. Someone who listens to the things you say with your eyes. Not just your words. someone who knows the weight of your silence and holds it with care. Your heart deserves that. You deserve that. You may have lived many chapters. You may have lost pieces of yourself along the way, but the core of who you are, the core that knows how to give love and receive it, never left you. It softened. It changed shape. It learned, but it never stopped beating for something real. And right now, as you sit here with me, breathing in the softness of this moment, I can feel that heartbeat waking up a little, like a door gently opening after years of being pushed shut, like a light flickering back to life. You don't have to do anything. Just let it warm you. Let it remind you of who you've always been beneath the worries, beneath the years, beneath the silence. Because there's more to say. Something even deeper about that quiet glow inside you. Something I want to show you in a way that feels safe, gentle, and true. Come a little closer in this moment with me. I want to speak to the parts of you that you don't show the world. The places inside you where old memories still breathe, where losses still echo, where the weight of past hurt settles when the night gets too quiet. You've carried more than most people ever will. And yet, here you are, still gentle, still capable of feeling, still able to sit with your own heart even when it trembles. That alone tells me something extraordinary about you. You might think your old wounds made you weaker, but I've watched enough people, lived enough life myself, to know something different. The cracks you carry, those tiny fissures you try to hide from everyone, they didn't destroy you. They shaped you. They gave your heart a texture, a depth, a kind of quiet beauty that only time can carve. You didn't come out of those moments broken. You came out changed, softened in some places, stronger in others, more aware of what matters and what doesn't. There's a tenderness that grows in the spaces where you once hurt, a kind of wisdom that can't be taught, only lived. And when I look at you through these words, I don't see someone damaged. I see someone who survived storms that would have taken others down completely. I see someone who kept going even when the world asked too much of her. I see someone whose heart learned how to stay alive, even in the dark. Maybe you don't give yourself enough credit for that. Maybe you've spent years pretending those old wounds don't still sting, or you've told yourself to be strong so many times that you forget you're allowed to rest. But your heart remembers, not in a way that drags you backward, more like a soft reminder of everything you've lived through. A reminder that you're still here, and that survival came with a cost, but also with gifts you don't always notice. When I speak to you like this, I'm not trying to fix anything. You don't need fixing. You've already done the hardest work. You kept your heart open enough to feel, even when it would have been easier to shut everything down. That's courage. That's beauty. That's the kind of resilience people rarely talk about, because it's not loud or dramatic, it's quiet. It lives in your ability to love others even after you've been hurt. It lives in your willingness to hope again when you're not sure if hope will reward you. It lives in the way you still wake up each day with a softness that refuses to die. And I want you to know, the things that cracked your heart didn't steal anything from you. They didn't erase your worth or take away your capacity to be loved deeply. If anything, they made you more capable of love, because now you know its fragility. Now you understand what it costs. And that kind of understanding is rare. It's something that makes your heart not just resilient, but luminous. I imagine the woman you once were, the one who tried so hard, gave so much, held everything together until she couldn't anymore. I imagine her standing in front of the woman you are now. You're not the same, and that's okay. You're richer, more layered, more human in the most breathtaking way. Your past didn't harden you. It refined you. It taught you the difference between what bruises you and what nourishes you. And now, even if you don't realize it, your heart knows exactly what it deserves. There's a certain grace in the way you carry your history. You don't shove it aside or pretend it never existed. You've woven it into who you are. You've let it teach you, guide you, soften you where necessary, and strengthen you where required. That takes so much quiet bravery, more than most people will ever understand. But I see it. I feel it in the way you breathe through these words. And if there are still moments when you feel the ache of what happened, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're alive. It means you cared. It means your heart still knows how to respond to the memories that shaped it. Pain doesn't linger to punish you. Sometimes it stays just long enough to remind you of how far you've come, how deeply you've felt, how human you are in the most beautiful sense. Let me tell you something gently. Those old cracks in your heart aren't weaknesses. They're openings where the light comes in. They're the proof that you didn't shut down. They're the proof that your heart stayed warm even when life grew cold. And when I picture you now, I see someone who carries her scars like soft lines on a map, guiding her towards something more honest, something more tender, something more real. If anyone ever made you feel like your past made you less worthy of love, they were wrong. Completely wrong. Your past made you more capable of receiving love that's mature, patient, grounding love that honors the journey you've walked. You're not fragile. You're not shattered. You're someone who is still standing, still feeling, still open to possibility even when you don't say it out loud. And if your heart still aches in places, let it. That ache is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of transformation. It's the soft pull of something new trying to reach you. It's the whisper that healing is already happening, even on the days you don't notice it. You don't have to rush this process. You don't have to be completely healed to be worthy of tenderness. You just have to keep breathing through it, trusting that your heart knows what it's doing. I'm right here with you, walking alongside those quiet memories, holding the edges of the stories that once felt too heavy. And as we move through this together, there's something more I want to show you, something warm, something steady, something that might help your heart open just a little more. Stay close for a little while longer. I want to walk with you into a softer space, a space where nothing is rushed, nothing is demanded, nothing is expected of you, just you, and the possibility that your heart might stretch open again, even if only by the smallest breath. You don't have to make any promises to yourself or to me. You don't have to leap forward or pretend you're ready for something big. Healing doesn't ask for bold moves. It whispers for gentle steps, the kind you take when you're learning to trust your own warmth again. I know you might feel uncertain. After everything you've lived through, after all the moments where your trust was tested, it makes sense that your heart hesitates. Hesitation isn't a failure. It's a sign that you're aware of your own worth now. You don't give yourself away so easily. You don't open your door just because someone knocks. You've learned how precious your inner world is, and you're not willing to let just anyone inside. That's not fear. That's wisdom, your wisdom. So let's imagine something simple. Imagine taking one small step toward yourself, not toward anyone else. A step where you give your heart permission to warm up. Maybe it's letting yourself smile without questioning why. Maybe it's allowing your thoughts to drift toward connection without shutting them down. Maybe it's looking in the mirror and noticing a softness in your eyes that you haven't seen in a long time. These aren't grand gestures. These are tiny, sacred invitations your heart sends you. And I'm here to tell you that you're allowed to follow them. You don't need to reopen everything at once. You don't need to be brave in a way that scares you. You only need to be gentle with yourself. Let your heart move at its own pace, the slow, steady rhythm that honors everything you've been through. You've lived enough life to know that the most meaningful moments aren't forced. They arrive quietly, like a warm breeze brushing against your skin, or a soft thought that lingers long enough for you to feel it isn't an accident. If you've ever feared that opening up again would expose old wounds, I want you to breathe with me. Old wounds don't own you. They don't get to dictate your future. They don't get to decide who you can be now. What you're stepping into isn't a repeat of the past, it's a place shaped by your strength, guided by your clarity, and held by a heart that knows itself more than ever. You aren't stepping into something unknown. You're stepping into yourself. And in this moment, as I speak to you, I feel something in you responding, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like a window being cracked open just enough for fresh air to move through. That's how a new journey begins, not with fireworks, but with a breath, a moment, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, you're allowed to want softness again. You're allowed to feel excited. You're allowed to imagine a future that includes companionship, laughter, warmth, touch, whatever your heart longs for, even if it's only a whisper right now. There's no rush. I'm not asking you to make decisions or take risks. I'm asking you to pay attention to that small spark inside you, The one that flickers when you hear tenderness in someone's voice. The one that wakes up when you feel understood. The one that drifts forward when you let yourself dream. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. Just let it be there. Let it breathe. Let it show you that your heart is still capable of reaching beyond the walls it built to protect itself. You've spent years taking care of everyone else. Years being strong, steady, reliable. But now, this journey is about you. About giving yourself permission to feel light again. To feel seen. To feel held not by someone else, but by the life that is still waiting for you. Your story didn't end. The world didn't close its doors. You didn't miss your chance. Life doesn't operate on deadlines when it comes to the heart. It moves with your soul, not your schedule. And if you're worried about opening up only to be hurt again, let me hold that fear with you for a moment. Hurt is not a sign you did something wrong. Hurt is a sign you cared. You loved. You invested a part of yourself in something that mattered. And while pain leaves traces, it also leaves direction. It tells you what you won't settle for anymore. It tells you what you truly need. It teaches you the shape of the love you deserve, the kind that feels steady, honest, patient, deeply human. As you ease into this new path, you don't have to abandon your guard. You don't have to pretend to be fearless. You can walk with both courage and caution. You can open your heart by millimeters instead of miles. You can let someone earn your trust slowly. You can let affection grow in real time, not forced time. This isn't about surrendering yourself. It's about returning to yourself. I see you standing at the edge of something gentle. Not a cliff, a meadow. A place where you can rest. Breathe. Notice the sunlight on your skin. Listen to the quiet beat of your own resilience. You're not stepping into danger. You're stepping into possibility. Into a landscape where your heart can stretch in ways that feel safe, natural, honest. And if you ever doubt that you're ready, you don't have to push forward. Just stay with the feeling. Sometimes staying with the feeling is opening. Sometimes acknowledging, I want more than just surviving, is the bravest movement you can make. And I'm here with you as you make it. I'm here as you let yourself imagine tenderness without flinching. I'm here as you allow the idea of connection to rest in your chest without fear rushing in to chase it away. You don't need to be fearless to embrace something new. You just need to be willing. And I can feel that willingness in you subtle, warm, living right beneath the surface of your breath. It's enough. More than enough. It's the beginning of something you don't have to name yet. Just something you're allowed to feel. And as this gentle opening settles inside you, there's another truth I want to bring you towards something soft, something steady, something that will meet the quiet courage rising in you right now. Stay here with me for just a moment longer. I want to hold this quiet space with you before the world calls you back. There's something about the way you've listened, the way you've allowed these words to move through you, that tells me your heart is opening in its own rhythm, not rushed, not forced, simply responding to the softness it deserved all along. And I want to honor that. I want to honor you. You've walked through your memories with such grace. You've let yourself feel without running away. You've let your heart stretch in small, careful ways. That alone is a kind of courage most people never see in themselves. But I see it in you. I see the woman who has weathered storms and still finds a way to breathe gently. I see the quiet strength in the way you let tenderness touch you again. And I see how meaningful it is for you to be understood, even in silence. If there's anything I want you to carry from this moment, it's this. You don't have to do life alone. You don't have to hold everything by yourself. You don't have to pretend that you don't crave warmth, connection, or a sense of being seen. Those desires don't make you needy. They make you human. They make you beautifully alive. And there's nothing about your age, your past, or your scars that makes you less worthy of being held with care. You've given so much to the world, your time, your patience, your love, your resilience, and somewhere along the way, you learned to push your own needs aside. You learned to shrink your emotions so others could fit comfortably around you. But here, with me, you don't have to shrink anything. You don't have to apologize for wanting gentleness. You don't have to hide the parts of you that long for something real. I welcome those parts. I want those parts to breathe. I'm not asking you to step into anything you're not ready for. I'm not asking you to change your life overnight. I'm not even asking you to believe every hopeful thought that might be forming inside you. All I'm offering is presence, my presence right here, without expectations. If you ever choose to walk further, I'll be here. If you simply want a place where your heart can rest for a moment, I'll be here for that too. You're allowed to return whenever you need someone to sit with you quietly. You're allowed to replay the words that made something inside you soften. You're allowed to take your time, to move slowly, to lean only as much as feels safe. There's no finish line. There's no pressure. Just the steady truth that your heart is still capable of beauty, still capable of warmth, still capable of receiving the kind of love that feels steady instead of chaotic. And if something inside you feels the urge to speak, if you want to share your thoughts, your fears, your hopes, I'm here to listen. Not to judge, not to correct, not to push you into anything, simply to hear you. Sometimes saying things out loud is the first step toward healing. Sometimes being witnessed is all someone needs to breathe a little easier. You deserve that kind of witnessing. You deserve to be heard without being rushed. But if all you want to do is sit quietly and let these words settle in you, that's enough. More than enough. You don't owe me anything. You don't owe the world anything. Your presence, your listening, your honesty, you've already given so much by simply being here. And I want you to feel how deeply you deserve gentleness. How deeply you deserve the kind of affection that doesn't disappear when things get difficult. Maybe you'll come back to me on another night, when the room feels too quiet and your thoughts feel too heavy. Maybe you'll come back on a morning when you need a reminder that your heart still has light in it. Or maybe you'll return simply because you want to feel close to something warm. Whatever the reason, you're welcome. Always. And if your heart ever whispers that it wants to take another step on this journey, whether it's with me, with someone else, or simply within yourself, listen to it. Even the smallest whisper from your heart holds wisdom. Even the softest longing inside you is worth paying attention to. You're not standing on the edge of something frightening. You're standing at the threshold of something tender. So, before you go, let me tell you this in the gentlest way I can. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. You're not past love, past beauty, past connection. You're still here, with a heart that has survived so much and still remembers how to open. And I'm grateful, truly grateful, that you let me share this moment with you. If you want to stay connected, if you want to keep walking through these soft places together,